All right, everybody. Good afternoon. What is going on? Happy Friday, almost to the end of the week. And as it typically goes on a Friday before a game, we've got our final injury report of the week for the Seahawks and the Rams. Let's take a look at what we got. If you're a Seahawks fan, you're pretty happy with what this report contains, but let's dive in courtesy of Greg Bell, who has the latest and greatest from the Seahawks before this NFC Championship game. Obviously, there's going to be some really interesting stuff here, but let's start with some of the easy stuff first. So obviously, you've got guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, you've got guys like JSN and Leonard Williams. They were never hurt. They are good to go. They've got no game status. So nothing to worry about there. Not that there ever really was. Also, nothing to worry about with guys like Tyrese Knight, who's a backup anyway, and also Uchenna Nwosu, no game status, good to go. All right, guys, before we go any further into this video, let's take a minute so I can tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. If you're not using Sleeper this year for daily fantasy, then you are missing out. Download the app and get ready to have more fun with sports this year. Make all kinds of picks on over-unders. Get on over there. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever your sports fancy is. I've got some picks going for this week, the conference championship games. I got the over on Cooper Kupp, 30.5 receiving yards. I got Ken Walker scoring an anytime touchdown. I got Mevis over on the Rams kicking at least 2 field goals. And I got Drake May with the under on 227 passing yards. So get on over to Sleeper. Use promo code SBN, that is SBN, to get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100 and go have more fun with sports this year. Okay, so pretty clear so far. Also, some good news. We got George Halani, no game status. He is ready to go. Same with Elijah Arroyo. And on top of that, we got this from Corbin before the report came out about an hour, maybe 2 hours ago. George Halani and Elijah Arroyo have been activated off injured reserve. So very good chance that both guys play on Sunday. It's not a guarantee. It is worth noting that we could still place one or both players on the inactive list before kickoff. We are going to need to put like 7 guys, I think, on that list. And it's possible, I would say, that Arroyo could still be left off because we don't have room for him in the game plan. Halani, I think, is relatively safe as the backup running back right now. But at the same time, would you activate Arroyo? Would you bother if you were planning on just making him inactive for the game anyway? I don't know. By the way, Zach Charbonnet and Bryce Cabledew were placed on injured reserve to make room for Halani and Arroyo. So those are those corresponding roster moves. Now, that does bring us to one thing on this list that is slightly inaccurate. Bryce Cabledew has no game status, but he is out because he's been placed on injured reserve. His season is done. Don't know what happened. He didn't play last week, I don't think. Maybe he played on special teams, but I certainly didn't see anything happen with him. But his season is done, so this game status is technically incorrect. But Arroyo and Halani are good to go. They are available if we need them. I think we're going to need Halani for sure. And I would like to have Arroyo available, even though I don't know how well he fits in to the current game plan. I think that is about it for some of the quick, easy stuff. So let's get into some of the big stuff here. Charles Cross, he did practice today. I know because I saw the video clips of him practicing. No game status. Charles Cross is good to go. He will be playing, and that is a tremendous, tremendous injection of relief for this team. It looks like McDonald was correct. There was nothing really all that bad to worry about, and Charles Cross will be available on Sunday. Sam Darnold was throwing before practice today for the first time since the oblique injury last week. No game status, not even questionable like he was last week. Sam Darnold is good to go for game day. Doesn't seem like there's any real limitation there. I'm not saying he's literally 100%, but as far as the NFL goes, he is effectively 100%. You get through, 18 regular season games, playing virtually every snap. Yeah, there's going to be some bumps and bruises, but he is ready to play some football. So we've got our quarterback. We've got our starting $100 million left tackle. Good to go. And I think that's everybody who doesn't have a game status here. So looking pretty good. Let's get through some of the guys that we don't know about yet. Real quick, You got Chaz Surratt. He is still out. I think he's pretty clearly healthy. But again, we don't need him because we've got enough depth at linebacker with O'Connell and Knight. So no point in activating him. We don't have room for him. So Surratt, I mean, maybe we'll need him in the Super Bowl, I guess, if somebody goes down this week and we win. But Surratt remains out for the time being. Amari Kite, the third string left tackle, is doubtful with his knee injury. So I guess the upshot is that he's not out, which bodes well for his ability to maybe be ready for a Super Bowl if we get there. But for this week, probably not going to see him. Now, there is some good news built in here. Josh Jones, who has not practiced in a couple of weeks now and barely practiced the week before that, he did practice at least some today, and he is questionable. That is about as good a news as we could have hoped for on Jones. I think questionable was the best case scenario for him. So very excited about that. If we have Charles Cross just ready to go for this game, which according to the team we do, and you've got Josh Jones potentially being able to at least suit up, we're chilling. We are chilling. And a lot of the concern we had this week kind of goes away because that left tackle spot was the only significant problem this team had this week, right? It was just the fact that we had multiple injuries stacked at that same spot. But Cross is good to go. Josh Jones, questionable, who knows? But he did practice today, and let's face it, guys, it's go time. It is go time for the Seahawks. I don't think you're going to be able to hold a guy like Josh Jones out of this game, knowing that there's a real chance he gets called on when, at most, there's only one game left in your season after this. So, great news there. And the only other questionable designation we've got is Robbie Oots, who I believe is practicing today, but they're still listing him as questionable with the neck injury. Neck injuries are no joke. Can't mess around with necks. So I totally understand why the team might want to play it cautiously with Oots, but probably going to play. Maybe he won't play that much. I would definitely be a little bit concerned about putting him out there when he's less than 100% because the margins for him are already kind of thin. But at the same time, having a fullback is an important part of this rushing attack that I don't want to take away from these guys. So hoping he's out there and hoping he can play well. And that is it for the Seahawks side. So after a little bit of drama this week, things look really good, guys. You can't ask for too much more than that. We're missing our third string left tackle, our fifth string linebacker probably, and we're potentially missing a backup left tackle and a fullback. And of course, you got other guys. You got Charbonnet, you got Horton, but in terms of the things that we didn't know about this week, pretty darn good. So that is the Seahawks side of the report. All right, so as for the Rams, I haven't seen an official injury report from them yet, which is a little bit odd. Usually you would have seen it by now. But it does seem like there's not going to be a lot on it, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with some of the information we got a couple hours ago, which told us basically what was believed to be in this report. It's pretty simple. Rob Havenstein is out, which is not surprising because he just got activated and he's not ready yet. So no Havenstein, but he's not even really a starter anymore, so whatever. And Byron Young is supposedly limited in practice today and is therefore questionable because he missed practice yesterday and the day before. So that's the big one. That's really the only one to keep an eye on, but that is pretty significant. He is their best pass rusher this year. They do think he's going to play. McVay has said that they're more playing it safe with him than they are worried that he's not going to play. But it is worth noting that he is listed as questionable. And the Seattle just went through something very similar to this with Charles Cross, where they played it safe with him. They didn't have him practice very much, but they're not listing Cross as questionable. So I guess there's something that could happen here. I would say that Young is very likely to play. Remember, there's no more probable tag in the NFL. And this is probably an instance where the player would be listed as probable if such a thing existed. And also, it's the NFC Championship game. If there's any way a player as important as Byron Young can be on the field, he's going to find his way out on the field, period. So I think he'll be out there. The question is, what is he going to be able to do? Is he going to be able to do the things that he typically does? And that's a big deal for the Rams because they depend on their pass rush. They're a very good quarterback rushing team, and Byron Young is their best edge rusher. So definitely something to consider. I don't think there's anything else on the report. Quentin Lake is going to be good to go. Josiah Stewart is going to be good to go. That stuff, whatever. Um, Somebody was asking on my last injury report video why the Rams injury report is so short, given how late we are in the season. I think the thing to keep in mind, there are a lot of players on that Rams team right now that are banged up that they're not listing on the injury report, even though they're not 100% because they know they're going to play. Guys like Stafford, guys like Devontae Adams, guys like Puka, even guys like Jared Verse and Braden Fisk, clearly not 100% right now. Clearly less than what they are typically at. They're not listed. If they listed those guys, things would look different, but they don't feel the need to because there's no way those guys don't play. But we know Stafford has a sprained finger. They told us he has a sprained finger. So if the roles were reversed and McDonald was in charge of the injury reports for the Rams, you probably would see stuff like that get listed because clearly, if you take a look at it, Seattle kind of lists everything they got. They go over the top. The Rams kind of go the other way where they've been kind of minimizing what they list, but clearly these guys are banged up. There's just no way they don't play. All right, so that's going to be it for the injury report. If the Rams list anything weird on their report later when they actually release it, then I'll make another video to talk about it. But I think this is all we got. I think everybody else is going to be fine. I don't think there was ever any real concern about anybody else. So, yeah, that'll do it. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Everybody have a good rest of your day.